Eye on Port is a program that's been designed to bring the activities of the ports of Ghana closer to you and also bring you closer to the activities of the ports of Ghana. It's an initiative of the Port Authority of this country, and it's proudly supported by Star Assurance, also West Blue Consulting, Ghana Oil Company Limited, and Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet. A number of things are happening in the port. The port is trying to move away from the times when cargo were being carried in wheelbarrows, in boxes and all of that, to now that you can see behind me lots of containers, lots of cranes, some of them gantry cranes, some of them mobile harbor cranes. For the past 2 weeks or so, anyone who has ever come into the port will tell you that, before, as an individual, before you get into the port, you need to have your biometric taking and then also your physical ID card inspected by the port security. The pilot process has begun for about 2 weeks now. From now going, anyone who will get into the port needs to be biometrically proven to qualify to get into the port. This exercise has begun, and the Port Authority as well as the port security wants you to know about it.
The Port Authority has begun the pilot exercise for the electronic gating system in the Tema port.
The purpose of this biometric registration is simple. You may be able to steal the identity of somebody, you may be able to steal the ID of somebody, but that should not be sufficient for you to be able to enter the port.
Anyone who wants access to the port must first apply to the Director of Port to be registered as a port user and must have a port operating license.
By going through a series of vetting processes, they are provided with what we call the operating license. After you've been given your operating license and considered ready to do business in the port, you have to apply for the access to the port facility itself.
Only persons with no criminal records would be allowed to enter the port.
Port facility remains a security entity, and persons that are supposed to access it are supposed to have been, at least not persons that we can confirm have criminal records.
The possession of a car pass is now not even sufficient for one to enter the port,
because the gates are biometrically controlled. So even a driver entering the port would have to be biometrically checked in.
Colonel Batabana reveals that possessing another person's identity card would not be a guarantee to enter the port.
And now it's going to be much more difficult for people to really seek to apply, even using other names, because we have your biometric details as well. So once you are banned until the Port Authority decides that the ban will be lifted or otherwise.
He said the initiative by the port will ensure that only biometrically verified persons are allowed into the port.
When he touches it and then the system says that yes, this is somebody who is being registered and cleared within the port, the light will become green, the bar would raise, and then he will drive out. And the same thing happens when a driver would have to enter the port. And that is the reason why it's now not sufficient just to have a sticker on your car.
The port security manager is optimistic the e-gate system will benefit the ports and its users and the country as a whole.
The ISPS code requires us to have some of these benchmarks of the industry respected. And that would lead to many more vessels calling at our ports, thereby granting them more businesses.
Well, so in order to be very efficient, the Port of Ghana believe that putting some of these measures in place will ensure that your cargo that is coming on those tracks are safe, and also you are able to get whatever you are importing or you are exporting safely into your hands. That is why all these measures are coming into being. But let's get a sense of why these technical instruments are being fixed in the ports.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has commenced massive implementation of electronic systems within the ports of Ghana. Management hope the move will drastically eliminate corruption, extortion, pilfering, and all negative practices that hitherto may have existed in the port. One of the visible structures is the electronic gate systems that have been installed at all the entry and exit points in the port to prevent unauthorized and unscrupulous individuals from gaining access into the port.
The electronic gate system, which comprises the turnstiles and speed styles, the boom barriers, and the optical character recognition cameras, are to ensure that we heighten our security in terms of cargo, in terms of vehicles, in terms of vessels, and even human security in the port.
And the turnstile manages the pedestrian movement.
We are set to make the port of Tema, as well as Takoradi, the first electronic ports in the entire West African sub-region.
We have registered close to 14,000 agents who will be using this facility. When you come, you just press your finger on it, it authenticates you, and then you move in like this. When the system decides that it will not allow you to come in, it means that you are not authenticated.
Gone are the days that anybody could enter the port at the blind side of security men at the gates.
The good news is that we are able to account for the number of people who enters into the port at any particular point in time. And as part of one of our strategies, we want to decongest the port. So if you can tell that at a point in time you have about, let's say, 1,000 people in Tema Port, and then there are more people who want to enter, security can take an initiative to restrict movement to certain areas.
We are able to measure the cycle, the time it took you to complete one cycle of transaction. And for that matter, you cannot start one transaction and transfer to another person. If you start the transaction, you must complete it.
Boom barriers and optical character recognition cameras have also been installed at the central gates of the port to regulate movement of trucks in and around the port.
The camera throws a kind of ray on the license plate, and if that vehicle is indeed registered with GPHA, then it will grant access. That will be the first level. The second level is that the driver will also have to biometrically verify. And when it matches the driver to the vehicle, then you'll be allowed access into the port.
Management believe the changes are expected to reduce complaints of negative practices in the port.
If you are used to giving somebody a tip to enter the port, now it is not anybody you are going to tip. You are going to offer your finger as a tip. And if the system accepts your finger as a tip, that's the only time you can enter the port. So in the past situation where people will come and complain of pilfering this and that, will be a thing of the past.
We're going to restrict access of vehicles to the port. That is one. Two, we would also ensure that there is safety and then security of cargo.
The Golden Jubilee Terminal, GJT, is a very strategic place in the port where all imported goods are brought from containers for their owners. Management of the port believe concerns of theft and extortions that have been raised by some will soon be history with the installation of new turnstiles at the Golden Jubilee Terminal.
With the introduction of the turnstile, we are restricting movement into the port.
In addition to all of those measures that are being put in place in the ports of Ghana, you remember that the ports have already signed a concession agreement with Meridian Port Services to expand the Tema port almost 3 times the current size. And one of those lead companies that are sponsoring this particular project is the Maersk Group. And we were fortunate, Iron Port, we caught up with the group chief executive of Maersk International, Mr. Nils S. Anderson, who visited Ghana just last week and asked him about the latest as far as that port expansion is concerned.
So at the moment, the big project we have going directed towards the future is of course the expansion of the container terminal in Tema. Together with our partners, we have committed $1.5 billion to that expansion, which will create probably the largest and definitely the most modern terminal in sub-Saharan Africa, and that will enable Ghana to grow its imports for many years to come.
I see. And how far have you gone with that arrangement? Because I recall that somewhere late 2015, the concession agreement was signed, and a lot of Ghanaians have been looking for this particular project. How far have you gone with the arrangement?
We've gone quite far. We are at the moment very close to being able to open the result of the tender for the port. So we've tendered out a number of civil works in particular for the port, which is the long lead items. We're still awaiting for final approval, final agreement with the authorities. But we actually, in the last year, we progressed quite far, and we're very enthusiastic about the opportunity.
Okay, so per your assessment, you reckon that we are likely to see physical work begin when?
Well, we first had to hand out the orders, and in order to do that, we have to have the final long-term agreement signed by the government and approved also by the parliament. We hope that can happen quickly, and then construction can start relatively quickly.
You've dealt with a number of huge ports all around the world. I mean, Maersk is huge everywhere, and knowing this particular project, how much do you think it's going to position this country?
First of all, because it will allow the country to import and export very large quantities of goods, which is very important for securing growth in a country like Ghana, or in any country for that matter. Then we also have, of course, as the international partners have committed also to constructing a road or expanding the road from Tema to Accra, which will all massively improve the infrastructure and connectivity between the port and the main city.
Well, folks, so for implementing all of those measures that to bring efficiency to doing business in the ports of Ghana continue to earn a number of accolades, including recently, just about a few months ago, the Port of Ghana was ranked the best within the Western Central African region in Abidjan, the Ivorian capital. Just a week ago, once again, the Port of Ghana, together with the Port of Senegal, has been ranked the best within the African region at an award ceremony that was held in Madrid, Spain. And that is to recognize the efforts that the Port of Ghana is putting in to ensure smooth trade in this country and also in the Sahel region.
Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. From Ghana, represented by Mr. Richard Aguri-Jinga-Anamu, Director General.
The Global Trade Leaders Club, an association of leading businesses, which gathers more than 7,500 members from 95 different countries, all working in the sectors of production and services, has awarded the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, GPHA, the best in international transport award within the African sub-region, together with the Port of Senegal.
We try to see how we can bring in a lot of traffic in terms of capacity, bigger vessels, to take care of the oil industry in the western region of the country, where we've now found oil. Above all, we intend with placing Ghana as the reference point for trade and commerce in West Africa.
The award ceremony, which was held in Madrid, Spain, was in recognition of GPHA's commitment to the quality and excellent service delivery to clients through the implementation and institutionalization of efficient measures in the port.
Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. From Ghana, represented by Mr. Richard Aguri-Jinga-Anamu, Director General.
Director General of the GPHA, Richard Anamu, who received the award on behalf of the authority and the country, said the ports of Tema and Takoradi are investing hugely in trade in order to be positioned as the center of trade and commerce within West Africa. The ports of Ghana and Senegal were the only transport industries that were awarded. The main aim of the Global Trade Leaders Club is to promote trade exchanges among countries from all over the world, with special focus on thriving enterprises. National companies from Malaysia, Colombia, Chile, etc. won awards under Best Construction Companies, while companies from Saudi Arabia, Ireland, Mexico, Ghana and Senegal won awards under Best Thriving Transport Companies in their respective regions. The Best Thriving Airport went to the Princess Juliana International Airport, which is the main airport on the Caribbean island of St. Martin.
Princess Juliana International Airport.
Late last year, The port of Tema was named the best in the Western Central African regions. In Ivory Coast, and the Meridian Port Services Terminal, named the most efficient terminal in the regions. At the Institute of Public Relations Awards held in 2015, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was named the best PR organization in the public sector category and the company with the best PR campaign for 2014 among all companies in Ghana, ahead of the telecommunication companies and the banks.
Iron Port can only wish the ports of Ghana congratulations and wish them well in their endeavors as they continue to chalk a lot more awards. That also means that they should continue to put in a lot of measures that will make trading in this country the best for everyone. And folks, I can tell you, with all those gadgets we see them purchasing, fixing and paving our roads, all the measures that are coming up, this national single window, hopefully there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Iron Port returns shortly after the break.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you. I gotta slow down.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade need. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Ghana's goil.
Your own goil.
Our own goil.
Ghana's own.
Goil, goil, in the service of the nation. North, south, east and west, wherever we put you first. Goil, goil, goil is good energy. Goil is good energy. Services so friendly to the nation. North, south, east and west, we always stand for the best. Goil, goil, goil is good energy. Goil, goil, goil is good energy.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Welcome back from the break, still watching Iron Port. If you have any concern dealing with the port, please don't hesitate. Just look on the screens there, right beneath there, all those contacts. Please send us a message of any problem you have dealing with the port, and we will definitely endeavor to bring you solutions and also share them with the rest of the world. Coming up next are news and activities happening in and around the port, including the Ghana Shippers Authority efforts to make containerization the best in this country.
Over 20% of all containers moving across the world are said to be misrepresented by importers and exporters in an attempt to lower shipping costs. Again, up to 2/3 of all cargo claims may be attributed to incorrect declaration and poor container packaging, which directly leads to accidents. The Tema branch manager of Ghana Shippers Authority, Emmanuel Akon, disclosed this during a sensitization forum for stakeholders in the maritime industry in Koforidua.
If a packed container is received at the port facility for export without a verified gross weight, it shall not be loaded on a vessel until a verified gross weight is obtained.
He entreated them to adhere strictly to the container weight verification, which would be implemented from the 1st of July this year.
Let me know the weight of your container. Give that information to me in advance. I, the shipping company, and the terminal operator, I will use equipment to lift the containers. I need to know the weight of your container.
Some of the stakeholders expressed their readiness to comply with the IMO regulation in order to avoid incurring additional costs at the ports.
When you load your container, you send your shipping schedule to the shipping line 2 days prior to loading. You see, so at the moment you can track, when your container should get to the port.
The Minister of Defense, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, has urged states operating along the Gulf of Guinea to take prompt action at national and regional levels with the support of the international community to develop and implement national maritime security strategies, including the establishment of a legal framework to curb the insecurities in the Gulf of Guinea. Speaking at a launch of a book titled Maritime Security Cooperation in the Gulf of Guinea, Prospect and Challenges, the Minister of Defense expressed deep concern that piracy and armed robbery at sea in the Gulf of Guinea pose great danger to the international navigation security, hence creating economic insecurities in the area.
Research is beginning to show clearly that the future energy needs are embedded in what is today known as the Gulf of Guinea. And we believe that over 60% of our oil reserves are said to be located in this area. Of course, is it accidental that you have pirate activity taking place in that area?
The author of the book, Commander Dr. Kamal Din Ali, said the book provides, among other things, the legal, policy, governance, and institutional frameworks that optimize the benefits accruing from the maritime sector of the Gulf of Guinea states, including Ghana.
My book comes in the line of publications by other military officers. It sought to provide deeper understanding of strategic, security, and legal dimensions to the overlay of national, regional, and international maritime issues in the Gulf of Guinea.
The first copy of the book was bought by Mr. Magnus Adiko at a cost of 50,000 Ghana
cedis.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you. I gotta slow down.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade need. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Ghana's oil.
Your own oil.
Our own oil.
Ghana's own.
I've been buying oil for a while now. I get my money's worth every time I buy from the oil station.
Oil is a station that if you buy fuel from them, you can work with your fuel the whole day that you don't have any problem. My children, their cars, all they will buy from Well. If you don't take the receipt from Well, I won't pay back.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
And next up on your screens are schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those at anchorage, and those also expected in for the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate. A number of you have been sharing with us some of your concerns dealing with the port, some of your queries, as well as some of your commendations. Next.
Kofi from Accra commented on last week's strike by the traders associations and says if the taxes are so much, they should continue the strike till a month. Also, no one should pay their tax returns for a month for government to feel the real impact of the strike action. Please, how can you know the exact date or day that the container containing your goods will be opened for inspection? Well, there is no specific day for opening of containers. However, your agent will be in a better position to give you the exact date or day your container is to be opened because he or she is the one facilitating the process on your behalf.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching the program. Thanks to my crew, Godwin Kabute, Robert Nyanteche, Ebenezer Tevia, Solomon Anderson, Joe Lavo, as well as the executive producers, Paul Asariansa and Abna Sewa Opoku Fosu. Thank you for watching.